Now this is the key to the Jetour Dashing crossover with the price starting from Kenya shillings 4.3 million. You reckon this is your next crossover? We start this particular review by taking a look at the design aspect of this particular vehicle, and I can tell you, my oh my, take a look at that design. It looks very, very Italian. Perhaps one of those Lamborghinis that you probably think of, but this is the Jetour. It's brand new in the Kenyan market, and of course, a brief background on the history. Jetour is part of the Cherry Group and the Omoda Group, so they share all the underpinnings and the engines together. But Jetour is more of a dynamic young brand ready to tackle a young generation with funky designs like this one. So we started a look at the front profile. As you can see here as well, you've got these slimline lights. They are LEDs, full LEDs that illuminate the road, of course. And of course, you have daytime running lights. And of course, here it's written Drive the Future. This is where we do have the high beam LEDs that illuminate the road quite easily, and of course some fog lamps to ensure that whenever you are, if you're in Limuru there's so much fog, you're able to see quite easily. I love the word on the grille. It's a trapezoidal design, looks like Superman, and of course it's a slated design. It's color coded with black and white, giving this car some je ne sais quoi. You have the words Jetour on top of it, and of course right here you do also have a clamshell bonnet, and of course a raked windscreen to ensure that maximum aero efficiency, and of course it slices through the wind like hot knife through butter. On the lower lip as well, you have this plastic cladding that runs across all the way from the front lip all the way to the front fender, lower door seal to the back, giving this car that sporty and premium look and feel. Everybody wants to drive a crossover that is sporty, and this Dashing is just the one for you. So obviously, as you can see, the design is very contemporary, very different from probably what you find with the mainstream products. So again, setting it far much clearer than the rest of the HUD, and also giving that eye candy that everybody is looking for. But we want to find out, how does the design correspond on the side profile? Let's move to the side profile and have a look at this particular Jetour Dashing crossover. So we move to the side profile, and the first thing you notice is that contemporary black cladding that I mentioned earlier. The one on the lower front dam, and of course extends all the wheel arch all the way to the back door seal, and of course gives this car that sporty premium look and feel. And I can tell you, they've thought about making sure this particular vehicle has a contemporary design than what you probably see with many other brands. So this Dashing is actually dressed in very serious tires. So you do have 19-inch rims, diamond cut as you can see here, and of course they're dressed on 235/55 by 19, giving it stance, performance, and maximum grip wherever you are in this particular country. And of course, this plastic cladding as well gives this car that interesting feel, that contrast on white on black. Again, they've thought about making this product very, very premium. Now we move over to the passenger cell. This is where the magic happens. As you can see, you have very large windows to ensure that light comes into the car, and of course you do have this massive side mirror. It allows you to see all the four corners of the car, and of course, ladies, if you have trouble parking, you have a 360-degree camera that has a lens on this particular mirror, the other one front and back, to ensure that you can actually see the surroundings of this particular Dashing crossover. So very good for parking, and of course you also have an option of park assist as standard in this particular vehicle. Side repeater lamps as well to indicate and to show where you're going. Again, take a look at the window seal. You have this chrome exit around the seal, giving this car that premium look and feel. I love the flash door handles. So you just touch and open and they reveal, and you can actually see they're actually very, very flash. It's a modern edge. You probably find it in a lot of premium brands from Germany and many other places. And of course, as you can see here, the lines are not too bold, but you can tell there's some subtleties that have been put on the lower door seal, giving this car that je ne sais quoi, and of course that piano black finish again. So not overly done, but well done in terms of executing a proper design that's contemporary to the 21st century. Now we move over to the rear third as well. As you can see, we've got that floating roof design. It slants all the way like a coupe. It feels the rear diffuser, giving this car that sporty credential, and of course the plastic cladding, the trim as well runs all the way to the rear third, all the way to the back, and of course you do have these repeater lamps that I'm going to talk about later when you move to the back end of this particular Dashing. But the question is, how good is this particular vehicle? You see this design, it's also corresponding, they're all merging to form a unique design at the back. So let's move to the back and have a look at the design of this Jetour Dashing. So we move to the back side of this Jetour Dashing, and I can tell you all the design elements we've talked about from the front side are now merging to form this unique design, coupe-like design as well. And I can tell you this is very European. Like I mentioned, it looks like a Lamborghini, but at the back also looks like a Lexus. So they merged a few design aspects, giving this car that premium look and feel. I love the fact that the rear diffuser has been merged with the roof as well, with the roof liner as well. Then of course you do also have a rear camera as well with the third stop braking light. These are LEDs as well. Sloping back windscreen, and of course you have the letters Jetour emblazoned on the rear panel. Then you have this signature rear tail lamps. They are actually LED matrix lamps that illuminate. So when you're actually behind this particular Jetour Dashing, it looks very good. This wide design is very captivating. And of course on the lower part you do also have that rear diffuser feeling that they've done piano black finish, giving this car a sporting edge. Now that is style, performance infused in one package. But the biggest question is, how good is the interior? Let's move to the inside and have a look at the design of this particular Jetour Dashing crossover. So you've seen from the walk around the design perspective of this Jetour Dashing SUV. Stylish, very compact, and of course very modern. But the biggest question still remains, how good is the interior? We step inside this particular cabin, and the first thing you notice is the je ne sais quoi. That premium look and feel has been translated in the cabin design. We start with the dashboard. I love the fact that they've had that 3-tier design of the dashboard. Now the dashboard is placed further away to create an illusion of space, and of course the vents as well. We've got slated grills as well, just to ensure that this particular car has that je ne sais quoi. We've got contrast stitching on top with this long-lasting material that gives this car that durability aspect, and of course a textured finish over here. But the highlight of this particular dashboard is this massive dual multi-information display. So the big one is about 12 inches, and of course it houses quite a number of things, and it's in crystal clear, crisp clarity. And I can tell you, these people are not playing. Jetour are actually very, very, very good. So you have a good sound system with 8 speakers surround sound system, and of course you can stream on to quite a number of music. So the highlight of this particular system is the audio system. Of course, if you wanted to tune into 96.3 Nation FM, I'll probably play it, and you can hear the sound quite clearly courtesy of the 8 speakers surround sound system that gives this car that perfect clarity when it comes to sound. You can even stream your music via Bluetooth, of course, and of course USB connectivity, which is supplied by this particular vehicle. Not only that, this particular vehicle has the capacity to support Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So basically it becomes an extension of your phone. So once you plug it in, then everything that does with your phone, if it's an iPhone or an Android phone, you're able to literally cast every single thing into this particular system. So you can answer emails, make calls, you can book meetings without taking your hands off the wheel. So that is a perfect thing, just to show you that this particular Dashing is a fantastic vehicle. Like I said, you can connect your phone using Bluetooth, and of course other settings as well. There's a media center where you can actually play your music as well, and connect USB local media. That is, like if you have videos on a USB port, you can actually play them quite easily, and so much more. Then you can also have vehicle settings as well. The vehicle settings are very important because it shows you the different settings of the vehicle. So for example, do you want the tailgate to open 100% or 50%, because it's got an electric tailgate as well. Then of course you do have the windows as well. You can select that if you want to shorten or reduce the window. That is very easy as well. And of course you're able to do quite a number of things as well. It's got Wi-Fi connectivity. I mean, if you love connectivity, then this particular vehicle has what it takes to be your next SUV. So kids, if you want to have a vehicle that you can go for long road trips, then this particular Dashing has what it takes to be perhaps your next vehicle. And then of course you have driving modes as well. So you're from Eco Sport, and of course you can connect quite a number of things as well. And of course for the drive as well, you can actually have all those settings: power steering, comfort, sport, thumbs up the suspension, and the gearbox, which is a dual clutch, by the way, and of course makes this car very, very practical and very user friendly for anybody who's looking to have that extra feeling when you're driving a modern SUV. So apart from that, climate control comes as standard as well. You have dual zone, so basically the driver and the passenger can control the AC systems quite easily. So if you're in Mombasa, it's extremely hot, then you can crank up the AC to cool down the cabin with that pleasant temperature. If you're in Limuru and you're feeling quite hot, then you can crank up the heat, and of course the vehicle will keep the car quite warm. So it's basically allowing this car to have a very good cabin and climate system. And of course, even the rear passengers do have their own vents as well, just to ensure that everybody feels comfortable while in this particular vehicle. I love the fact that the design, they've done quite a number of things to make it premium. You have this trapezoidal AC design system that comes across, and then it's lined with this stainless steel, giving this car some je ne sais quoi on the lower part, some piano black finish. So the attention to detail is very good. Now we move over to the gearbox console. Again, the textured surface. Again, I don't know what material this is, but it's very, very premium. So you can have a space here where you can actually have three power points. So you have a 12-volt socket for your device, and then you have two USB ports, one to connect to the system, the other one is to connect a power device like your phone. You can charge it, and then of course you do also have wireless charging, which comes as standard. Plus it's got a vent so it can cool down, because you know wireless charging pads get hot as you move along. And of course now you have the gearbox as well. 7-speed dual clutch transmission. Part of that particular engine gives you mighty acceleration and good fuel efficiency. Then you have park brake, which is electronic, by the way. Then you have also auto hold, which is important for traffic, so you don't need to step on the brake all the time. Hazard, and of course hill descent control that comes with now. Then of course you do also have the different drive modes. You have to press here. If you press the drive mode, it will show you what you need. Of course, this toggle system also allows you to toggle through the different settings on this multimedia interface. Of course, you have space for the key. It looks like earbuds. I mean, they've thought about every single thing to make this car quite good. And of course, now we do also have a cubby hole and space here to actually prevent prying eyes from taking a look at what you're carrying. And of course, this area is also chilled to ensure that if you have a cool drink, then you will put it quite easily. And of course, it's padded. I love the padding, it's fantastic. I move over to the instrument pinnacle. This is where the magic happens. And I can tell you, these guys are not playing. They've thought about every single thing. So first of all, the other 12.1-inch multicolor display also houses the whole system. It's full clear, crystal clarity, and of course, it has quite a number of things. As I reduce the AC, I can tell you they've thought about every single thing. Just reduce this AC here, and of course you can see that you on the left hand side you have the speedometer, on the right hand side you have the tachometer telling you the engine revolutions, and in between you have a graphical display. And obviously within the dials you have the fuel gauge and of course the temperature gauge, plus the multimedia information display also gives you exactly what is happening in the car. So you, as you drive this particular vehicle, you can tell if the doors are open, locked, the range, I mean whatever is happening, you can tell without taking a glance eye off the road. And of course, on the higher spec of this particular Jetour Dashing, you do also have heads-up display, which comes as standard in this particular vehicle. Love the steering wheel as well, 3-spoke as well. As you can see, this satellite buttons are fantastic. Reminds me of Mercedes-Benz. So you have piano black finish, capacitated touch. On the left-hand side, you have the cruise control and everything that is used to control the adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist is on the left-hand side. The right-hand side is everything to do with the audio system, of course. So you can pick your calls, you can answer calls, you can change the mode from Bluetooth to USB, and so much more. And then of course, voice command. So for example, if I press voice command right here, put on the radio.
Also a lack of trust in the surfaces. And it's not just the bearing.
There you go. So for this particular vehicle, the voice command works extremely well without taking your hands off the wheel. So you can command it to put on the radio, put on the climate control, open the windows, and so much more. So it becomes like a virtual assistant, just the way Siri is on your iPhone or Google Assist. I can tell you, technology is really, really pushing these particular vehicles to the limit. So they've thought about the design. It looks very good. I love the fact that they've thought about making sure this vehicle is very practical, and of course it has a modern touch and feel. Now, how comfortable is Big Boy Trev? I'm 6'1", and of course this particular vehicle has 6-way electronically adjustable seats to ensure that everybody is comfortable while in this Jetour Dashing. And I can tell you, you can even adjust the steering wheel as well. You have tilt and telescopic system that allows you to literally control and have good adjustment on the seats. And of course, as you can see here, the level of comfort, the A pillars are actually very minimal. Keep assist and of course blind spot detection to ensure that you remain safe while in this dashing SUV. But the biggest question still remains, how good is the back seat? Let's move to the back seat and have a look at the quality and the space and the practicality of this particular SUV. So we move to the back seat, and I can tell you I am pleasantly surprised with the space of this dashing SUV by Jetour. I mean, I'm 6'1". That seat has been placed to my height, and I can tell you I have enough leg and headroom. I mean, it's so comfortable. I love the seat. The seats are the highlight of this particular vehicle because they look like they're sport seats and they're padded to offer maximum cushioning. So long distance in this particular vehicle is actually quite nice, especially for 3 passengers, because there's a flat floor, number one. Number two, in case you're only driving 2 people at the back, then you can toggle through the armrest to reveal 2 cup holders, and you can relax and enjoy the beautiful country of Kenya in this dashing SUV. So the best practical SUV for the family perhaps is this particular vehicle, and they've thought about every single thing. You have airline style pocket that comes as standard. You can actually put your iPads over here, large cubby holes for the doors as well. You can put cups here, a flask, a bottle very easily, and of course it's very, very comfortable. And of course, from a safety perspective, you do have 3 headrests which comes as standard as well to prevent whiplash and to make sure that you are comfortable. You have 3-point safety belts, and of course you have 6 airbags, including this one long curtain airbag to ensure that in case of a rollover, your head and your thorax are protected. Not only that, if you have a child seat option, Isofix anchors comes as standard in this particular vehicle, so you're able to safely secure your child at the back of this dashing SUV. So they've thought about every single thing making this particular car vehicle. I love the accessories. You do also have a coat hanger over here. You can actually hang your jacket over here, and of course these sport seats as well, you can easily see through. And of course the large windows and mirrors allow for light to get into the cabin so that you feel very comfortable in this particular vehicle. So they've thought about every single thing, practical enough, and of course plenty of space. I love the styling, the quality of the seats. It's perforated and contrast stitching comes as standard, and of course AC also works very well even at the back. You do have the vents here, and of course you also have a 12-volt socket just to charge your device and so much more. But I know you're wondering, how much can it carry at the back? Let's move to the back side and have a look at the carrying capacity of this particular dashing. So we move to the back side of this Jetour Dashing SUV. Press the soft touch opening to reveal plenty of space. Of course, the electric tailgate comes as standard in this particular vehicle, and there's so much space, and as you can see, you can actually fit literally 430 liters of space. That's roughly about 4.5 suitcases or gunyas for that matter. If you love traveling and love carrying stuff, then this particular vehicle has what it takes. Of course, if you put the rear seats down, it goes all the way to 630 liters. That's roughly about 6 to 7 suitcases quite easily. Of course, there's a 60-40 tail split as well to ensure that you can carry irregular goods. You have a tonneau cover that comes as standard to prevent prying eyes from having a look at what you are carrying. Of course, you also have a flat floor as well to make sure that getting stuff in and out is quite easy. Tie-down hooks to secure your cargo, and of course charging ports, and of course a light to showcase whatever you're carrying inside this particular vehicle. So it's very practical, very easy for somebody who wants to have an active lifestyle. But the biggest question still remains, how good is this car while on the road? We're going to take it out, feel the power of that 1.5 liter turbo engine with the 7-speed dual clutch, and of course give you what it feels to drive the car, then finally give you value for money. Let's go. So ladies and gentlemen, today on Cars with Big Boy Trev, we are very privileged to be in the presence of this particular vehicle, the Jetour Dashing crossover. And I can tell you, I love the way it looks. It's practical, it's got a lot of safety features and specs, but the biggest question still remains, how good is this car on the road? So we are driving on our proven testing rounds along the southern bypass just to feel what this car has in terms of performance. So we start with the engine. Up front, you have a sterling 1.5 liter turbo petrol engine, 4-cylinder, and of course it produces a lot of power, actually 115 kilowatts, and of course 230 newton meters of torque. All that power is set to the front wheels courtesy of a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, which allows you to explore the full potential of that particular engine. And of course, in turn, you have fuel economy figure of 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers, which is actually fantastic. With that big tank of 75 liters, it's going to take you roughly about 560 kilometers. So you can go to Mombasa easily, you can go to Kisumu easily on a single tank. And of course, it also depends on how you drive. So very, very fantastic vehicle to drive, very comfortable. Now let's talk about the chassis. Of course, this particular vehicle is actually part of the Chery group, and of course Jetour and Chery is one company, so they share the modular chassis together. So it's a monocoque structure as well, 33% stiffer because of the stainless steel that they are using on the chassis. So how does that stainless steel help? Number one, structural rigidity, very good for safety. Number two, the handling of the vehicle. Speaking about the handling, this particular vehicle has front McPherson struts. At the back, you do have multi-link rear coil suspension, which allows this car to be planted on the road and of course give you good ride comfort, be it on and off tar. So it's a vehicle they've thought about making sure that it is actually a vehicle suitable for the Kenyan conditions. Now, that said, this particular vehicle has a lot of active and passive safety features to ensure that you remain safe out on the road. When I speak about active safety features, these are features that help you prevent an accident. So we start with umbrella ESP, electronic stability program, which comes as standard in this particular vehicle. So you can actually drive this car quite easily because the ESP intervenes in case you run out of talent. And of course, anti-lock braking system, electronic stability control, brake assist, and so much more. Then there's another layer which is called the advanced driver aid. So you do have things like lane keep assist. We do also have cross traffic alert. We do also have quite a number of other products that ensure that you remain safe while on the road, including lane keep assist, lane center assist, and so much more, and emergency autonomous braking. But in case all hell breaks loose, then you can rely on the 6 airbags that come inside this particular vehicle. It's got a 5-star rated passenger safety rating, which is actually tested by Euro NCAP, in Australia NCAP, in China NCAP, and Japan NCAP, making this car safe for your kids and the occupants while driving this particular Jetour Dashing. So it's pretty safe as a crossover, but the biggest question still remains, how good is this car while driving in our typical Kenyan terrain? So we're going to do value for money and so that this particular vehicle could be your next SUV crossover. So stay tuned. So that has been the review of this Jetour Dashing crossover. What do I like about it? I like the contemporary design. Number 2, the level of technology. Number 3, the engine performance and the gearbox. Number 4, practicality. And number 5, safety. But the biggest question still remains, is this your next SUV? We go to our next segment called Road Analysis, where we take you down through how this particular vehicle will suit the Kenyan market. We start with the pricing. Now, this particular vehicle is sold and serviced by Trans-Africa Motors along Mombasa Road, and of course, it comes with a 5-year, 100,000 kilometer warranty, whichever comes first. And of course, in terms of pricing, drive home, 4.3 million Kenyan shillings. Now, you can enjoy all that and much more courtesy of Trans-Africa Motors' extensive service network across the country, coast to coast, Mombasa to Kisumu, Nyeri. You're able to maintain this particular vehicle quite easily. Now, we know that this particular vehicle exists in a space where there's so much competition. Who are the key rivals in this particular segment? Of course, all the crossovers from the Hyundai Tucson, of course, the Volkswagen T-Cross, and of course, not forgetting the Kia Sportage and many others in this particular segment. So based on that, would you pick this over the rest? Send us your thoughts and scenes on the social media handles below. We'll get back to the feedback next week. Signing us is Big Boy Trev. on behalf of NTV and the production team, stay safe and drive safe.
You can run, but you can't hide. You can run, but you can't